Hello, I'm Mark. This is Geeks Unleashed, and this is episode 236. Each week on the Geeks Unleashed podcast, we catch up on our pop culture lives, we discuss some movie news, we sometimes do some trailer reactions, and we do a movie review. Hopefully you can tell from that intro what the movie will be. Yes, that's right, we're going to be reviewing Akira, which came out in 1988. As usual, I am joined by a selection of YouTube's hottest guests. Of course, the hottest of them all, Jasmin.
Yes,
he returns.
I love that intro. That's the best one yet.
Equally, a man who's got his guns out, is ready to go.
Damn it, I wanted to be the hottest, but it's okay. I'll take second rate.
All right, okay, you can be the hottest male, but then I feel a bit bad for Laurence. Maybe you could be both joint hottest males of YouTube. I'll tell you what, I'm humidity hot right now. I've got two fans on me. It's fucking hot, man. So,
I'll be the coolest one.
I'll be the coolest one. Yeah. All right, okay. So Jasmin likes to do the next bit.
Right. So before we get started, if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Also, like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave us a comment and let us know, because we're really about to get into it on this one. We've had quite a bit of discourse before we even started recording. So you leave us a comment. You let us know how you feel about Akira. Also, have you ever read the manga? So yeah, leave us a comment. Let us know. And also subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms as well. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Podchaser. You can leave us comments on Spotify too. So do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The video is also on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, you can flick it. And I heard the other day that Apple was also doing video. So I will soon start doing the video on there too. Okay, so we'll start with some geek news. I thought there's a couple of things to shout about here. So the first one, actually, I'm going to jump onto, literally was announced within the last hour or so, and social media is having great joy on it. Netflix, Sony Pictures, Paramount, Redbird, TPG, and various other people, including Reddit, are all in talks to acquire Letterboxd.
Oh, wow.
People are not happy. They are not happy at all.
Ooh.
People are concerned that they are going to put algorithms in there, going to be promoting their own content. Of course they are. Well, look at IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I thought Letterboxd was just for you to say, I watched this movie and I give it this rate. Like, what else does Letterboxd do?
It's like a community at the moment. So Letterboxd does have a few things. It is a community. Letterboxd recently, I want to say in the last 3 to 4 months, have started to do tailored rentals. So they'll pull out some hidden gems from the movie world, and they'll be available for 1 month only, maybe a selection of say 4 or 5. So there is some additional income. But other than that, it's basically tailored towards cinephiles, a community. But this is why people are not happy. A few people I've made jokes about, if Reddit acquire it, will it have D-pics in there where you can give it 5-star rating?
The answer is yes. It would.
Yeah. Reddit, Letterboxd will become the filth. I'll
be on Letterboxd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know what happened though? If Netflix get it, it'll be you can go and click on the review and press play to take you straight into Netflix. I guess Netflix's last acquisition didn't go through. I assume Letterboxd have just said, look, we're ready for someone to come buy us.
Did they say how much that they're looking to acquire it for?
I did not see that.
Because let me tell you, in our year of 2026, we just need to take a note and look at big acquisitions. I'm talking about you, Microsoft. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. Because man, are we down bad over at Xbox? It's awful.
So I haven't got an amount here, but apparently, was it back in 2023? A 60% stake was bought for about 60 million. Hold on, and now, okay, right, I have got an amount here. They're shopping it around for 250 million.
Jesus.
Okay.
It's a nice payday.
No wonder they're up for sale.
Yeah.
We'll just have to build our own Letterboxd.
Yeah. Is it? I wonder who. I'll have to look at it myself. it always seems like it's one of those things where like a small like group of people created Letterboxd. Like 4 or 5 people created it so people could use it. You always hear stories about like little mom and pop stuff getting just like overtaken. So that's
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. But yeah, we'll have to create our own one. Maybe just
sell it. Like, I mean, that's good, but like for them, but for like the mass majority of people that want to use it, I don't know. It's never.
Yeah.
I feel like comics need one.
Yeah.
There is a few comic tracking ones, but I just don't think they're anywhere near as big as
Letterboxd.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Also, movies are the biggest, I think, pop culture sort of format for people to get into. Not everybody loves TV shows, not everybody loves to read, but a movie is like the easiest thing to put on. Like, it's an hour and a half of my time. I hear people sometimes saying, I don't want to commit to a TV show, but a movie's easy to watch,
Right.
Okay, so next, actually, it's a good pivot here. TV. I'm going to move across. HBO's medical drama, The Pit, has led the pack with a massive 25 Emmy nominations, followed by Hacks with 24 nominations. Also, Apple TV's huge dark comedy Widow's Bay has grabbed 19 nominations. Sci-fi drama Pluribus has secured 18. Also, The Bear and The Diplomat have been firmly locked in their expected comedy and drama category slots. There's a load of other stuff you can look about the Emmys. Also, I'm going to probably butcher her name, but Mariska Hargitay, who plays Detective.
Oh my
Olivia
God, Mariska
Benson.
Okay. Olivia Benson.
I just said I was going to butcher it.
That started happening just
Anyway, she plays Detective Olivia Benson in Law and Order SUV. She will be the host of the main ceremony in September.
Oh wow! So good for her.
Yeah, I know. I thought it's good that she's doing something else.
I wonder if she's going to come out in some Knicks gear. She might. That'd be awesome.
She might.
She's so sick.
Anyway, that's all my news. I didn't want to grab any trailers this week because I feel like it.
I've never seen The Pit, but I hear it's just amazing. But I can't get into shit like Grey's Anatomy and I don't.
Grey's Anatomy started well, and it should have ended 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and
we're in season 27 or something.
Come on. I gave up of it a couple of years ago. I remember. I think I watched season 1 before I was even married. That was for 9 episodes. I remember watching that all in a day. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I think when I found Grey's Anatomy, 5 seasons had already gone on. So I remember watching 5 seasons over like a couple of weeks. I thought it was so good. But yeah, it's just got worse. It just needs to end. So
I never watched Grey's Anatomy because I refused. Because I was a big fan of ER, and I was like, I'm not watching ER knockoff.
Got it.
Well, you can watch the ER knockoff called The Pit now if you want.
The Pit, yeah.
I haven't watched The Pit either, but HBO is usually really great about grabbing those Emmy nominations. They're probably one of the most nominated networks when it comes to the awards.
I've watched all of season 1 of The Pit, but I have not watched season 2 of The Pit. So I feel like with The Pit, I don't know if you know, Devaughn, that it's a real-time show. So every episode is 1 hour of a day.
Oh, sure. So it's like 24.
Yeah, it's basically 24, but as The Pit. But it's not a whole 24. So it's a whole shift. So you follow the daytime staff in this hospital. And there is a bit of an overlap. So in season 1, a load of the nighttime people showed up about 2 or 3 episodes before it finished. So when I tell a lie, I have watched the first 2 episodes of season 2. They were releasing it weekly over here when HBO Max, the app, came out. And I was like, I'm not watching this weekly. This is just annoying. Like, you're giving me a show that's set in real time, and I'm going to watch it every 7 days. I'm not doing that. So I was waiting until it all came out, and then I'll watch it all in one go. But season 2 starts with them all coming in, and the nighttime staff are all there, and they're sort of saying goodbye to them in the first sort of half an hour, etc. But yeah, and then between seasons 1 and 2, I think there's either 18-month gap or 2 years, or I can't remember, something like that. So it's very similar to 24, but it's a medical drama instead. But there's not really much, I would say, in the way of character development. What they're trying to show the audience is what actually, an emergency room is like during a shift. So
interesting.
There's rumors of a spin-off following the evening shift. I really hope they don't do that. So you've got a good show, leave it alone. So there we go. Right. Geek of the Week. This is something that myself, Jasmin, Devaughn, or Laurence have done on our own this week and hopefully enjoyed. Look, Laurence, as you are the newest to the panel, would you like to start us off with this week's Geek of the Week?
Sure. Last night I saw Evil Dead Burn, and I loved it. I feel like Rises was a little much as far as like I miss the wacky humor of like Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. This one follows the same trend of Evil Dead Rise, where it's kind of brutal, but I think the story this time around is much stronger, and it carries you from the beginning of the film all the way to the end. Stick around for the post-credit scenes. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I saw the trailer for that, and I thought, I don't know if I can fucking do this.
It is like 2 hours of brutality. So I mean, like, it's intense, but I love horror. But you know, it was very well done. So.
I've stretched myself recently with watching some horrors. I just don't know if I can watch that. I saw the trailer for it, and it looks really brutal. So.
Start with Evil Dead 1. And if that's too intense, you can always go into 2 and Army of Darkness. Those are the two that I really love.
I think for me to watch any of these, I will need to be in a room full of people and a few beers.
It's not plenty of daylight left.
With the lights on and everything.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It's got to be a 10 a.m. showing, you know. I've done those nighttime horror films, and I've not slept very well, but.
Okay.
You know, I did push myself this year. I watched, Obsession and Backrooms and a few other things. And I actually, over the last few years, I've stretched a little bit. But not overly loving all that stuff. But anyway, right, okay. So I'll actually go around. Devaughn, what about you?
Yeah. So Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender trailer came out, and I've probably watched it about 7 times because I'm just super excited. Anything in that universe, and I'm just I like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've never watched Korra, so I kind of want to do that before this movie comes out later this year. I'm super excited for it. Can't wait. And I've also been playing the remastered Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So been going through that, and I love that game. So when it came out, I think 2013. Just playing through it now is just such a blast. So yeah,
I never finished that one. I started it and I never finished that one.
My only gripe is they did everything for the game, and they added some new missions in and whatnot, but they didn't do the DLC, which was Freedom Cry, which I'm like, oh man, it was like such a good piece of DLC for that game, but whatever, you know.
I feel like Mass Effect spoiled us when they did their Legendary Edition, and then every single DLC ever was included automatically.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. I've seen Jasmin, Jasmin, me and Jasmin have got little scripts that we don't read word by word. It's just bullet pointed. Jasmin's already written down hers, so I know what it is. It's something I've been wanting to watch for a while myself. Go on, Jasmin.
Oh man. But mine, I finally sat down and watched it. Like, I don't know what, maybe it's been on my to watch list for a really long time, but I finally watched. I'm not done. I've got 4 episodes left, which is what I'm doing after this. But I started Solo Leveling.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
It is so good. It is so good. I was like, this is going to make me pull up my Webtoon app again and start this comic all the way from the very beginning. So it started out as a web novel, got converted into a web comic, and then it got licensed for manga production. There's 15 volumes, which is going to be hella expensive to get all 15 of those volumes because each one is like $20.
Especially.
And then it got adapted into an anime series, and man, I'm telling you, it's like the animation is not super phenomenal. It's good, but there are definitely some times where you're watching it and you're like, this feels very much like the animators were like, okay, we're just moving on to the next thing. But the story and the characters and some of those battle sequences, it is really, really good. And it's one of those things where as soon as you drop into it, you're just like, what the hell is happening? Who is behind this? Who is doing this? How did we get here? Why are these people glitchy? There's just, it like ticks all of my little boxes. It's violent, it's funny, it's got the mystery element that's going all the way through it. It's really fantastic. Like, and I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it. It just, I hadn't actually sat down to do it. I've been like in binge recovery for a while when it comes to like binging TV shows, and I messed up with Solo Leveling. I watched 17 episodes in one sitting.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, this is problematic. I was like, see, this
when you say you watched it in one setting, like what time of the day did you start and finish?
I don't want to answer that question. Let's just say I started it around a late lunch, early evening time frame, and I was late to work the next.
Were you Jack Bauer? Were you Jack Bauer? Were you Jack Bauer? Were you Jack Bauer for the whole day?
I mean, you got to get it done. Like, it was just one of those things. I was like, I literally finally stopped when I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was like, okay, all right, I'm calling it for the day. And then I was like, oh my god, I watched 17 episodes in one sitting. I was like, see, this is why I stopped doing binging the TV shows, because it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
That's why I can't watch good animes, because I will literally sit there. Back in the day when I used to work, I had just a menial job at GameStop. I would literally get off at 8, start watching anime till like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Gotta stop. Can't do it.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to have like a Bingeaholics Anonymous like recovery group, like please call me. Like I would love to join. Tell me how I can stop pushing play. Please.
I would enable.
I can't do that 4 a.m. and then get up for work anymore. That's just.
I think I am learning that I can't do that anymore either. Except I'm learning the hard way.
Right.
I guess at that point you may as well just keep going and just not sleep, and then
not sleeping.
I actually think it's worse if you go to sleep and have 2 or 3 hours and then get up. You may as well just power through.
The rule is less than 1 or more than 3. That's how the sleep rule goes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I need to watch Solo Leveling. I every time I see it, even the manga, when I see the manga, I think the manga looks cool. It's something I need to do. Right, okay. So my one, you guys know the guy who played Sub-Zero, right? In the new Mortal Kombat.
Oh, the new one?
Yes.
Yeah. So I went and watched a film that's had a bit of limited release over here called The Furious.
Yeah.
Has anyone heard of it?
Yeah.
Filmed in Thailand. Whilst in the movie they do not disclose where they are. They referred to going to China a few times. Apparently they deliberately don't mention it because they wanted it to have an international feel. Anyway, the guy who plays Sub-Zero is like one of the main 2 leads in it, and I recognized it and I was like, oh, so good. But this film, honestly, from the moment it starts to the moment it finishes, this film is action just continually flowing. And I have never seen a film with such better flowing, so well choreographed fight sequences. The way their bodies all just fight, so fluid. I'm like, honestly, it's so fucking good, this film. I watched it at the cinema last Saturday. I was a bit peed initially. They didn't announce it, my cinema, and then I just checked on the website and I suddenly saw they had a showing Saturday night. They hadn't even advertised it, and I was like, fuck, I'm going. I just saw it like that morning, and I was like, I'm going to see Furious. It's just honestly amazing. It's essentially about rich folk that want to be richer, and in the people trade, but unfortunately not for adults, for children, and then one dad. It's like the Taken version, but in Thailand. He loses his daughter and he goes to town on these people. Like, it's just so good.
Reminds me of The Raid.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I've not seen The
Raid.
Yeah, watch it after this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe not tonight. I don't want to do a 4 a.m. thing. But I'll tell you what, I'll watch it by next Friday. I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
So, but yeah, honestly, it's amazing. Seriously, just watch it. And I didn't like, and I could tell in the film that they showed a mixed version of dubbed and not dubbed. I could tell, and I was like, oh, I'd rather just watch the whole thing of subtitles. I really hate it when it's not matched up well enough. But yeah, it's really good. Seriously. So that is my geek.
I'm so sad that the theater by me pulled that after like one weekend. I'm like, I want to see it.
Apparently, it's coming out digitally like next week or something. I'm sure I read that it's not far off being released digitally. Because I came back and I was so full of it telling my wife, but it literally is like already finished. It was only on for like a couple of days.
Yeah, because it was the same weekend that Power Ballad came out, so I was like making Sophie's choices. I'm like, do I see this one? Do I see that one?
Oh, mate, you've made the wrong choice.
Oh, I love Power Ballad, but yeah, I mean, I agree. I do love the Raid. So,
of the two, I saw Power Ballad, and it was a nice film. Like, it was a feel-good film. I don't cry from films, but I had a tear at the end. There was one hiding in there somewhere, and there was a real nice moment at the end.
Yeah.
I honestly, when the daughter found that little video clip on the dad's computer, I was like, "Fuck that! That was good." I was like, "Got me." Right? Yeah, The Furious is out digitally on the 14th of July,
Yes.
so I would recommend it to all.
Check it out.
Right, moving into our main event. I'm just going to have to hand this one over to you, Jasmin. So off you go.
All right. So we got Akira from 1988. It is written by Katsuhiro Otomo and Izo Hashimoto. It is directed by Katsuhiro Otomo, who also wrote the manga. So he wrote the manga and he adapted the film.
Oh, wow.
It is produced by Ryohei Suzuki, Suzuna Kato, and it stars, this is the Japanese cast, Mitsuo Iwata, Nozomu Sasaki, Mami Koyama, Taro Ishida, Tesho Genda, and Mizuo Suzuki.
Did you know that of the English cast, I think it's Tetsuo is played by the voice of Leonardo from the 80s Teenage Mutant Turtles cartoon.
I need to watch the English version.
So, I didn't know when I watched the English version. It was only when I looked it up yesterday when I was reading some stuff about it. I was like, oh, shit, really? I wouldn't have remembered from the 80s, but I thought that was cool. Right, okay, release date was the 16th of July, 1988 in Japan, 25th of December, 1989 in the United States. I haven't got it written in front of me, but I believe it was in the UK. It got released in like 1991 or something like that. Right, okay, so it has a running time of 2 hours and 4 minutes, had a budget of equivalent 5 to 6 million US dollars, made at the box office worldwide 49 million, was considered at the time a bit of a financial failure. However, it has more than made a lot more money over the years from VHS. I read was where it really made the money once it went onto VHS, and a lot of this was to do with, and I'm sure we're going to break this down, was the convincing of adults that animation can be geared towards adults. I mean, now in 2026, adults are fully aware that they can watch animation and it'd be for them. But in 1988, it was a bit of a hard sell. And
I would argue that Pixar changed that much earlier, though.
Yeah. I again, without the internet and everything else, before we move on, in 1988, animation, top animated films that came out that year, My Neighbor Totoro, Grave of the Fireflies, and The Land Before Time.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. But all of those actually are tearjerkers.
Take me back.
Yeah. My Neighbor Totoro is honestly one of my favorite films. I saw a live action stage version a couple of years ago here in London. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. So Jasmin is gonna before we do that, IMDb summary: a secret military project endangers Neo Tokyo when it turns a teenage biker gang member into a rampaging psychopath who can only be stopped by his best friend. Okay.
It's not too far off. I feel like this would be a really hard movie to put into 2 sentences.
Yeah. Before we get into anything, Jasmin has a little bit she does called Fun Facts.
Yes. So we were talking about this before we started recording, but this film came out before the manga was actually completed. The manga was not completed until 1990. Again, same guy who is writing the manga wrote and adapted this screenplay. And he said, I laugh, but he said it's not that they are 2 separate things. He's like, they're telling the same story on 2 separate timelines. And okay, sure, I guess, sir. But like, that just seems very odd to me. It makes me think of Game of Thrones because
Thank you. I was going to say it.
yeah, like HBO adapted it before he had ever finished writing the books. And that's the only, like, literally the only other example I could think of where something gets made into a different medium before the original is completed.
Yep.
So yes, his words, he says that the movie isn't wrong. It's just an alternate version. It was also, at the time, one of the most expensive animated films ever made in Japan. The budgeting numbers are a little bit different. What I found says that this was around 1.1 billion yen to make way back in 88, or probably 87. So yeah, like that's a lot of money to put into anime at the time. They had a significant number of animators that were working on this. And the comparison that I have is think about how many different animators and CGI folks touched Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about how many people were working on this film. But like back in the 80s, like that just seems
crazy,
wild to me. They said they had 160,000 individual little like animation cells going on all around.
Oh man.
Insane.
One thing that struck me as odd, all of the voice acting was recorded before they actually had any animation.
Yeah, I looked that up.
And
all of the music was recorded as well. They did all the music and all the audio before they did any animation.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And like I can't reconcile that. Like I know a lot of times the voice actors are by themselves, like they're not bouncing off of anyone. But like to not have anything except for the script, like it's almost like all of these people were Audible before we had Audible. Like you guys are just narrating a novel. Like you don't have any visuals or anything to go on. That just seems so.
It's weird.
That seems so wild to me.
So I saw a picture of them all standing around a script. I assume maybe they did a table read before they recorded or something.
I mean, maybe, but that just. Again, like the isolation of recording different voices individually, I understand, but like without any kind of source material, like that just seems or visual material, that seems way out there. Yeah. So they said a lot of people like to say that this is ahead of its time. But honestly, I think this film fits more now. Okay, that's for later. But like they were saying that Tokyo in the 80s was booming. Like everybody was coming up, the economy was coming up, and they felt like this was a film of its time. So there was a lot of pushback when the film first came out, when everybody was like, oh my gosh, this film is so far ahead of its time. Whereas everybody involved was like, not really. Like Neo Tokyo is not that far off from what we're feeling as this economic boom is happening in the 80s. So I thought that was a really interesting kind of vibe that they had going. And it's like, it makes me wonder what was actually happening. Like, where can I go back and like find more information about what was going on in 1980s in Tokyo to see like where they're getting this vibe from?
Right.
And the thing that I thought was strange that they also acknowledged was strange is they never ever say that there was a nuclear attack. Like we get the opening credits and the opening scene says after World War III, which by the way, they said 2019 was 30 years after World War III. It's like you guys are a little behind, but that's okay. So yeah, but like they were trying to avoid that language because of what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which I thought was appropriate and interesting. But like, I mean, giving all of the weird things that happened in the film, the fact that they never say it was a nuclear fallout or nuclear apocalypse, it still kind of makes a lot of sense. And Mark beat me to the soundtrack piece.
Sorry.
And another thing was like, we were talking about it before, but like anime was not really a thing outside of Japan for the longest time. So they did not expect to pick up any kind of audience whatsoever outside of Japan. So even though it didn't do too well, they were still really surprised at the response from some of the international audiences that they did end up getting.
Right.
And that's and one thing, I didn't notice it until I read this, and then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, I can see it. But like they actually use color for the characters differently in the film. So one thing that they do is like red follows Canada, and then blue is kind of the color that follows Tetsuo. And I thought that was really interesting. And the other movie
gotta rewatch it. Sick, dude. I gotta rewatch it. Damn it.
The other movie that comes to mind when it comes to that kind of stuff is like most recently the second Spider-Verse film, where every Spider-Verse had its own animation style. Like that was how you knew which characters and which world you were in. And so I was like, okay, I can see the color piece. And that's what I got. Also, that iconic slide, the motorcycle slide, this was one of the first times that had appeared in this media, this form of media. And
now it's everywhere.
They say that motorcycle slide, you will notice it in a lot of other places if you look for it now.
So Sheena is asking if we've all read and watched it. So Sheena, we have all watched it. That's what we're discussing this evening. Myself and Jasmin, we have both read the first volume, and we did an episode a long time ago discussing the first volume. I have not read anything beyond the first volume. Jasmin, did you read volume 2?
I did read volume 2.
Okay.
Yeah. But I haven't gotten past that.
You two haven't read it at all, have you? Okay.
No.
Nah.
Do you know what I just wanted to add? So I just wanted to check my notes and I've lost it somewhere, but the nuclear explosion was caused by Akira, not it was his powers rather than an actual nuclear thing. And actually there was 2 English dub cast. So there was 1989 English dub, which that was so Canada was then played by Cam Clark, who did Leonardo and Rocksteady from the 1987 Teenage Mutant Turtle film. However, in the 2001 English dub, the guy who is most famously known for playing a Power Ranger, Johnny. Yeah. So, Johnny Young. Yeah, Johnny Young. He plays Canada. So
I recognized his voice immediately. So when you were like Leonardo, I was like, no, I don't. No, so, yeah. I didn't watch the 1980s dub, I guess. So.
No, yeah. So I'd forgotten it was 2 English dubs. But yeah, when I was researching it yesterday, I remember there was 2 English dubs, and yeah, Leonardo, the guy who played Leonardo, did the 1989 dub. And then obviously they did an updated version with a new cast. So I think that's weird that they.
I have to watch this 2 more times.
I'm curious to watch the 1989 dub. I wonder if there's like a Blu-ray that might have different versions.
No, I'm not. I like the older dubs are so bad to me, and I'm really glad that as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fine. Like this is gonna be great.
But that's part of the enjoyment of the old school animes, right?
Yeah, Sheena, we were just saying that they made this film without having the source material to finish the movie. When they made the movie, they didn't have the source material, so he had to create an ending for the film, very much like Jasmin said, Game of Thrones. I can't think of anything else either that they did this with.
They do that a lot with anime just in general, because it's like Nana did that, Full Metal Alchemist, like that's why we have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood now. So
yeah,
they'll adapt stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we've run out of source material.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else myself. Yeah, I'm not like as in big like Game of Thrones or Akira. I think it's few and far between. One of the things I admire is like the Hunger Games stuff, how she makes the book, then the film. Yeah, like the last 2 films, a book has come out. I reckon they're doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
So, right. Okay, so I guess I'm almost worried, but let's go around the room and hear people's thoughts.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I'm going to start with Devaughn just because I know how pumped Devaughn is to talk about this. So.
Okay.
I
enjoyed the movie, right?
Yeah,
it was visually pleasing. The soundtrack was amazing. I just didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. I kept I would pause it and I would like just sit there and I'm like, what am I watching? Like what are we doing? And it makes sense that you would have to rewatch it a few times just to get what's going on. I understand. Like I get the overall like there's good and evil, right? That's what I'm taking from this. There's good and evil. You inherently don't know who is good, who is evil. Like I thought the military dude, I was like, this dude is bad guy.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he's probably the best one out of them all. He's like, he was great. He was wonderful. Yeah, I don't know. The ending was weird. It was a very, and it makes sense, right? Because most anime is weird. Like they have, I feel like you can get away with making weird stuff if it's animated. I feel like that's like, don't get me wrong, there's people that make live action movies that are just very weird and off the rails. This one, it was weird, but in a good way. Like I enjoyed it thoroughly. I got to rewatch it again because I want to see the whole, like red follows Kaneda and blue follows Tetsuo. Like I love the characters. Kaneda with K, right? He was just like this dude, you're in apocalyptic world, things are going wrong, your friend is literally killing people, and you're worried about having a relationship with this girl and worried about her relationship with everyone else. He was like one of the most unserious characters, and like I feel like that's why you can fall in love with like them very easily. There was a lot of like dumb people in this too, like the doctor.
So there's a lot of dumb people in real world too.
Oh yeah, but like the doctor was like watching this whole thing in his like when he's because he was like watching the brainwaves or whatever, right? Like I think that's what he was seeing or whatever was going on, and he's just staying in there, and then everything blows up, and I'm like, well, you're an idiot. Why would you like? Why? What are you doing? I mean, I did thoroughly enjoy it, but like it was a very weird, like I said, like I messaged you guys, I was like, I don't know what the hell I just watched. I really don't. I don't know. Like I could probably sit my parents down, put this on, and my dad would go, I have no idea what I'm watching. Like I don't know. And the only thing that I could compare that like feeling to was the first time I ever watched Cloud Atlas. It's like, I don't know what I'm watching. I have no idea what's going on. But I loved it. The music was great. The visuals were amazing. Like all the colors, like it felt very authentic. And like the fact that it was taking place in 2019 was hilarious because I'm like, well, I've lived through this. So like, this is interesting. Like when 2019 popped up, I was like, well, that's weird. I would have figured way farther in, but like, I don't know. It was really cool. I liked the one part in the ending when Kaneda is flying through like through Akira, the blast and everything, and like he's reliving not just like his moments with Tetsuo, but like their moments, right? Them being tested on. I was like, oh, like they were just little kids. They don't know any better. Like it was kind of sad. Like that's super sad, but like thoroughly I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, but I just didn't know what was going on like at all. So I might have to rewatch it again, but like it was good. It did get weird when he started turning into that goo monster, though. That's when I was like, okay,
that was like,
what are we doing?
I suppose though, in the same year, My Neighbor Totoro come out with a bus cat and another huge cat that you could lay on. Yeah, so I mean,
I'm telling you, dude, anime they can get away with the weird stuff. And people
but think about it. It was the 80s. What about when The Thing came out, and then all of those weird deformations and transformations that happened in The Thing?
Yep. It also reminded me of one of my like I love like Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Like I love those movies, like Big Trouble in Little China, all that stuff. So I mean, here I am, foot in mouth. I love Big Trouble in Little China. Talk about a weird movie, right? Talk about a weird movie. I love that movie. Weird movie. So I don't know. I enjoyed Akira. I'm happy I watched it. Like finally, like critically like very happy. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, because this is the first time you've seen it, right?
First time I've ever seen it. Yeah. So yeah, really good.
Laurence, actually, I'm curious then, because have you watched it more than, I know you obviously would have watched it for this episode. Have you watched it previously?
Yeah, so this is my third watch of the movie, and it is funny to hear Devaughn say that because I feel like I'm still in that place. Like I always know what's coming, but I sit there just going like, did that make sense? Did that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well actually then, Laurence, what's your overall thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I think this would be a movie I would definitely recommend to people as far as a visual piece of art, right? Like, I mean, so much of this movie informs pop culture. I mean, we talked about the motorcycle slide, but you know, when at the opening of this, I was just instantly reminded of Batman Beyond. I mean, one of the biker gangs is the clowns, and you're like, okay, well, they've got the Jokers, they've got the Akira looking bike, Neo Gotham. I mean, the X-Men with like the phalanx and like Tetsuo's transformation and all the body horror stuff. I mean, yeah, Jasmine nailed it on the head. The 80s were body horror galore. So I mean, why not do that in anime? But no, I enjoy it from a visual standpoint. Story-wise, I'm curious to hear your guys' opinions of it after having read the first volume. Jasmine, it sounded like you got through the first two. That like I'm just wondering what was all fleshed out, because I agree with Devaughn. The ending with seeing Tetsuo and Canada growing up together is something I feel like should have been in the front end of this movie, because I feel like most of the time I'm just like, all right, they're a bunch of degenerates, like, you know, just having a good time in a post-apocalyptic world. That's great, but you know, it's not a whole lot to hold on to. Fortunately, the movie is beautiful, so you know you're just staring at one thing to the next. I had to pause the movie several times while reading the subtitles because I would just get lost in the imagery and then just like, oh right, there's a whole thing happening here, isn't there? But yeah, no, I absolutely love it, but I couldn't stop laughing after the end of the movie and wondering whether or not this is what the Fast and the Furious franchise might turn into, where it's like super street level, like, you know, first movie we're stealing DVDs, you know, it's like biker gangs fighting each other, and then by the end,
well, they've already gone to space, so
right. But I mean, it's like, you know, is Vin Diesel going to turn into a godlike entity and like rewrite the timeline?
I will say, to agree with that, I feel like that whole like front half, like where he's like growing up, like you don't find out till like almost towards the end, like they were orphans,
right?
You know, they were like foster. I'm like, man, if I would have gotten that like in the beginning, sure, everything would have made sense. You know, I agree.
Okay, so Jasmine, probably the one who's maybe got the most understanding, at least 2 volumes in. How do you feel?
Well, 2 out of 6. I only read 2.
Yeah, I know. 2 out.
So like, I never got to the part about their background in the manga, but the manga is very different because the manga really paints it more as like this us versus them, like it's the military complex that's the problem, and these people, yeah, they're rioting and that kind of stuff, but like they're rising up against an oppressive regime. And so like the intrigue part is way more apparent when you're even just in the first 2 volumes. Like the whole thing between Kei and Ryu and like their little cell of the resistance or whatever you call them, that was way more fleshed out even in the first volume. So you really get to see like what it is they're fighting for, why there is all of this discourse and things like that. There's also a bigger religious piece. Like you see it at one point where the big-haired lady was like sitting on the carpet and she had the followers around her. They were praying to Akira. That's a bigger thread in the manga as well. And honestly, going back and watching this through the lens of all of the shit that has happened in the past year, it's very much like you got people in the streets getting shot by their own government. Like you're supposed to be protecting the people, and now you in the streets shooting the people. Like it's
eerie.
It's very disorienting at this age. And I think that was what kind of made this stick and hit a little closer to home for me than it normally would have. But it was like, you guys put this like in a far-fetched future for you at the time, but it's like, we might not have flying cars and that kind of stuff, but like this kind of shit, we got this. Like we have the discourse, and we have the rioting, and we have the you know, the government killing people in the streets. Like, damn, that's that's really kind of scary. I think the thing for me that the film doesn't have that the manga does super well is just the artwork. Like the animation is cool and it's nice to see it in color because the manga that I have is black and white. But like the lines and the shading and all of that stuff really feels much more like a dystopian future as you're reading it than it did watching it. So like to me, I was way more immersed reading the manga than I was watching the film. Like the manga immediately pulls you in, and the amount of detailing is just insane. And I feel like some of that is lost in the animation itself. But like story wise, it's, I mean, 6 volumes, and like these are not small. Like these are really thick books. So it's a lot of material to condense into 2 hours. And it just, like, where do you even start? So I liked the film. But again, even having read 2 volumes of the manga, I was extremely confused with what was happening in the film, because I was like, I don't remember that happening. Also, they took a lot of the violence out of the manga and they did not put it into the film. So y'all are talking about like the body horror and that kind of stuff. But when Tetsuo first comes out and he can't quite like reconcile those headaches that he's having, he literally made a guy's head explode in the manga, and you don't get that in the film. So it's like, to me, you lose some of that feeling of just how powerful and unhinged he has become, because you don't really get to see that. Like, yeah, he like kills the guards by like collapsing the building, but like to sit there and watch him make a guy's head like literally, it's one of those things where it starts to shrink, and then it just like it's like a whole page of a guy's head exploding. So like you lose a lot of that kind of detailing in the film. I understand why they didn't put it in there, but I'm just saying, like, I think some of the details are missing, and it is a little bit confusing, the film, but I enjoyed it. Did I actually? I think I enjoyed reading it more than I enjoyed the film, but having watched it all the way through, finally, I get why it has become like a cult classic.
Oh, I mean, you can tell the amount of stuff that's been influenced from this over the years. There was a comic book that came out from Image Comics, I think in the 90s, called Neon Cyber, which is pretty much a copy of this film. It's a biker gang set in a sort of, I can't remember if it is like a futuristic version of Tokyo, but it's that kind of feel. But literally, if you guys were to Google Neon Cyber comic, you'll see like the front covers, and there's a I've pulled it up. It's by a company called, it was a studio from Image called Dreamwave. Like the 3rd issue literally just feels like the biker gang on the front cover, and it's just so. And there's issue 1 as well. You see the influence there. When that came out in the 90s, I remember looking at that thinking, this is literally Akira. Like they've just copied Akira, and also the famous cover of him walking to his motorbike. How many times have we seen that rift into other people's work, especially in the comic book world? So
Shadow the Hedgehog does an Akira slide, okay? Like he does it on a bike.
How many Sheena said, are they remaking it? I've no idea, but I'm sure they're doing a live action one. They do live action of everything. So
there had been talks. I hadn't heard anything in like a year or so, but it was out there. They were doing something. I will say we also did a Late to the Party book club episode for Akira, and we had a guest on, and I really wanted that guest specifically. His name is Mellow Brown, because he was writing a Blade Runner comic at the time. It was like it's like Blade Runner 2030, I think is the name of the comic, but it was like, oh cool, like you're writing about this dystopian neo techno future. Like I think it would be really cool. Like that was a really great episode. So if anybody wants to go back and find it, it was Late to the Party episode 6 from 2021. Good luck. You gotta go way back to find it.
Oh yeah. Hold on, what's this? I saw a dungeon crawler Carl T of the famous Walk to the Bike. I can't find it in my size.
I'm still reading through that book, and it's amazing right now.
Everybody is obsessed with dungeon crawler Carl.
It's so good. It's so good. I recommend it already, and I'm only like 100 pages in. I recommend it. It's so good.
Hold on.
A little bit of this reminded me of, I don't know if you guys have seen Elfin
that
Lied.
cat is one of the best characters to ever be created. Anyway, come back to this film. Right, okay. 2 hours, amazing animation. I think, look, the artwork is a masterpiece. The the music, the audio, the soundtrack, crazy. I love it. Look, I did watch it in English when you guys all watched it in Japanese. I did rewatch it today in Japanese. I just sat down yesterday, just pressed play, and then Jasmine's like, "Which version did you watch?" I was like, "Fuck's sake!" I was like, "There's more than one version." I got worried. I got worried, thinking, "Oh, is there an alternate version?" But she just meant language, and I was like, "I just pressed play. I didn't think about it." And anyway, I watched both, but obviously within like 24 hours. And the last time I watched it was like 20 years ago. I feel like this is going to take me another 3 or 4 more attempts at watching it to really fully get it. I feel like the plot is kind of messy, if I'm honest. Sorry if anyone shoots me, but I just feel like it's a lot that they've rammed in. And obviously he's had to alter stuff to fit a 2-hour story. And equally, I don't know what happened in the 80s, but you got a bunch of people to do a table read, or not table read, all the audio recorded beforehand. I don't know if they then had to make the visuals fit what they had recorded. I don't know how it all got fit together, but the fact that they've also changed like the English dub, the translation like twice as well, maybe to make it fit. Look, I love the animation. I do think it is a really good film. I love this attempt in the 80s, and this is something I said before about doing a show like this, to go back and watch things that are clearly, cult classics and things that you should watch. This is something that everybody should watch. I think it is a good movie, and there is a lot that happens from the creation of Akira, the nuclear bomb, the street people, the street gangs, the powers, and also, what we've got here is, a backstory between two sort of kind of brothers, so to speak, between Canada and Tetsuo, and actually getting their sort of background as well. And actually the power changes that happen by gaining the power and his lack of power. And you see that, because obviously that from where they come in their own background. I was interested in that, but I just found I was moving from just plot to plot to plot to plot really quickly, and I was several times got lost in what was going on. There was a couple of moments where I was like, I got to skip this back a couple of minutes because I've gone again. It is very fast paced, so I feel like I'm annoyed that they did a re-release at the cinema about a month or 2 ago, and it only was like 2 nights, and I couldn't make either one. I feel like that would be just so good to see visually. So look, I've got to give it props for being visual, and I'm not saying I hate the story. I just feel like there's a lot going on. Maybe I feel like it's probably like 8 seasons of Game of Thrones in a 2-hour movie. That's that's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like more now this would make me want to go and read 6 volumes of Akira to maybe get what the real story was. So yeah, that's my sort of summary of how I feel about it. Like, I mostly love the animation and even the audio, the audio cast, but I don't know. Just I found the plot a bit all over the place. There's
a lot of quick cuts too, right?
Yeah,
there's like so many quick cuts in it that just like the way they cut it, and like you said, I mean, him just trying to, like, he's not even done with the story, right, at this point. So like he's fitting all this stuff in while coming up with, that's, to me, that's got to seem stressful, just a little bit. But to have like the critical success, like, even though they consider it a failure, but like later on, like now, like just seeing the fruits of that labor, like, crazy, right?
There's so many films though were failures, like in the beginning, and then people jump on them. Like Fight Club wasn't a success, and now look at it. So obviously this is a film that's developed over time and become a mass inspiration for others, especially us pop culture lovers see that inspiration over other things that we watched. But I think I love the animation. I'm definitely there on the cast, both the Japanese and the English. And obviously the 2001, I haven't watched the 89 one. I am curious now to find that 89 one. Here we go. All right. Even though it has its flaws, it did make a huge impact on Western media mindset as far as people think animation is just for kids. This is what we were saying. Like, I think, obviously, I never watched this in the 80s, but I did watch it 20-ish years ago. So even back then, I'd heard that it's something that you should watch. But
I mean, I think it's interesting, though, because the original Transformers movie came out in, what was that, 84, 85?
86.
Like, everybody loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least I
movie.
loved it. Like I loved that Transformers movie. So like the idea that animation wasn't a thing, of course I was a kid in the 80s, but like I don't know, that just
I think it's just more the tone, right? Like I looked up the Roger Ebert like review, and he doesn't really talk very much about the movie, but I did have that like clutching my pearls moment where they showed a clip, which we did at the beginning of the show, where like you see the guy get blown away, and I'm like, they could show that on television, even though that was animated. I'm like, I feel like the network would be like, yo, you can't be doing that.
Yeah. The brief nudity that you see, it's not a lot, but it's just like super quick, like.
I was a bit shocked by that. I'd forgot that was in it, and but it's not just the nudity; it was the brutality with it. They ripped her top off and then punched her in the face.
I was like, whoa! I was like, yeah, if I was him, I'd be blowing people up too. Jesus!
When that happened, I was like, shit, boy. Like,
I was hoping, dude. I was hoping she would live, but as she was getting, I was like, oh, she's dying. She's getting absolutely crushed right now. Okay,
yeah. Okay, look, does anyone want any sort of final thoughts, or just go around the room and rate it? And Laurence looks like he wants to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I think I would be the one to say that I kind of hate the story. Like when you just kind of take everything that it did right in 2 hours, like it tries to lift 1,000 pounds. I don't think it does it successfully, but you got to admire the attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's funny to hear that the story wasn't done, because that ending feels very obviously it's intended to just kind of be a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like sitting there going like, are we creating another universe that they'll pull them into, or are we just creating like, Japanese storytelling does a lot of ideology kind of stuff, and so like something like even Neon Genesis Evangelion, right? It's like kaijus and giant robots, and then by the end of it you're like, that's not what this was about, and you're like, I guess. But same thing with Akira, where like I prefer the opening more than the ending, even though the ending has all of the action in it. And I think Jasmin hit on the head that the Spider-Verse is probably the closest thing that we have in the Western world similar to Akira, where just the attention to detail and the backgrounds are just so filled out that you're just kind of like, you could pause it at any given moment and just stare at everything that's happening from left to right, or right to left, and just being like, they filled everything that they could in the screen with something. I mean, the glass blowing up in the intro, it's like, that's all hand done, and you're like, what? What were you thinking? And we can't do it with computers, or it doesn't look as good.
Oh, it's amazing.
I think it's definitely one of those things. Every single time you watch it, you're going to notice something you did notice the last time you watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But yeah,
the detail is amazing, and the fact that it's like pretty much hand drawn, and I just I can't fault the animation, and I was trying to not shit too much on the story, but it isn't, I would say, an enjoyable thing to the story initially. I think it's only. You're only going to rewatch it if you feel passionate about it in the first place. So I do feel passionate about what they've done with Akira. I just think it's going to be something that's got many layers to get through, and I'm happy to go and rewatch it. But yeah, I can imagine someone that sits down for the first time is probably the wrong anime film for their first ever viewing. I don't think, if you've never watched anime before, do not start with this film.
I felt a little bit of Mulholland Drive in this, when like the little stuffed animals are going across the pillow.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, here we go again. I'm like, I can't do this.
I feel like they gave away the entire like purpose of the movie with a throwaway line when all of this other action is happening, and you just hear the voice of that little girl, and she's like, everybody has a little bit of Akira in them, and it's just a matter of like what happens when you're awakened, and then, and then what. And so like for me, the film, it's like, it's a choice, right? Like it's the wolf you feed. We got two wolves inside of us, and the one that wins is the one you feed, and that kind of is what this felt like to me. They just had a very roundabout way of getting there, because I mean that could apply to the military, that could apply to these delinquent kids, it applies to the scientists that experimented on these kids. Like it applies to everyone in some way, and I just think it was I think the vessel of delinquents to deliver the message might not have been the best, because to me it was just like, you guys are entirely too stupid to have figured this out, like, and to have been like heroes by the end of it. Like, you're just entirely too stupid for that to have happened. But like, I get the sentiment of like, it's the little guy, right? Like, it's the little guy that is the one that takes down this big entity in the end. I don't know. The overall theme to me was very much like it's all a choice, and like, or if you go all the way back to Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And they were all very irresponsible with their great power.
Yeah, there's a lot of irresponsibility going around.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, right, okay, let's finish up and rate. Okay, I'll just start with Jasmin. What?
Oof, it's tough. I would say overall, I think this is probably like whole package 3 out of 5, but like for, I don't know, for what it was trying to do for ambition, 5 out of 5. But like the package that we received, 3 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay, Laurence?
I would go 2.5. I think that this movie has a lot of interesting ideas, and it's just a shame that it doesn't get fleshed out. But now that I know that the series has 6 volumes, I'm kind of like, maybe that's where you find more information. So if you like the movie, maybe you dive into the comics.
I feel like just getting to know Laurence now, he's already in his mind thinking, when can I fit in reading 6 volumes? Like...
they take a long time to read because they're super wordy. Like, you get to the panels and it's just like, there's so many panels, and so it takes about like 2 hours or so to get through one volume.
Yeah, not my brain.
Yeah. And Devaughn?
I'm trying to think, right? You know, I really liked it. I really did enjoy it. I'm probably gonna also give it like a 3.5, which some people are gonna be like, "You gave Supergirl the same score." I did. You're right. I did.
Different films.
Yeah, way different film. But I just think everything that encompasses this movie and this film, you know, it'd be one of those things where like you hear like, hey, you have to watch this, but like I didn't really hear that a lot with Akira, right? Like everyone says, you've never seen Lord of the Rings, you have to watch Lord of the Rings. You have to. Like, when people start to overhype things, I'm not saying that, I mean, properly hyped for Lord of the Rings, but like if you overhype something too much, you can get to it and be like, man, you know, lackluster, like that kind of fell short of what I was expecting. And no one really overhyped Akira. I think I just had it in my head, like, you see the bike, you see that, like, I didn't really know what I was getting into, right? I didn't know what the story was, and like seeing what it is and all that, I think 3.5 just fits perfectly for it. Enjoyed it. I probably will eventually watch it again. It'll take some time though, because like I said, that did a number on my brain.
Did you know, before I rate it, Jasmin, you know, you got the black and white version. They did release a colored version as well. With,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that might make it easier for me to read.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's collected or not, but in the 80s as well, late 80s. I looked it up earlier, so I haven't got the notes to me, but something called Epic Comics did a colored version. So yeah. Laurence.
I mean, I really think like Laurence was saying about like the detailing and stuff in the animation. I think you really, really get that feel when you read the manga. Like if anybody is interested in like trying to figure this out a little bit more, I don't think you get that from watching the film again. I would say try the manga, see if you like it, and see if you want to continue.
It's a good shout. Right, okay, so I'm going to finish up by giving my ratings, and I'm going to be honest, it is going to be a 3 out of 5. I was a bit worried before I came into this that you guys are going to be all giving it 4 and 5s, and I was going to be like the odd man out. When I watched it, I was blown away by what they were trying to achieve and the animation and the just everything. It was a really high concept movie. But I was just like, this story is a real struggle to get through. It's like Tom King was given the license to write a film. I'm making these jokes because me and Laurence spoke earlier about Tom King. But Tom King is one of the worst writers in history, yet is also massively overly hyped, which me and Laurence agree with. And yeah, I just felt like
the CIA, man. Don't make him mad, okay? Don't.
Oh yeah. I know. He probably still has contacts. Like he's probably
he still has to get his scripts approved.
Oh yeah,
Whenever-
he
whenever do
does.
stuff, he
Yeah.
has to get his scripts. They have to be government approved.
I forgot
before they
about that.
go out.
Yeah, I forgot about
Wow.
that. Yeah, all his scripts have to be approved in case he says something he shouldn't.
Wow.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, it's quite weird though that he was in the CIA and he advertises that, but and it's weird that he just is a really really shit writer. Anyway, right, to come back to this. Story is a mess. Look, I'm just gonna put it out there, but animation, the cast, the soundtrack, and what they're trying to do with it, that gets to 3. I guess, like you said, Jasmine, if it was like for the effort, probably a 5, but no, overall, I'm giving it a 3. And
this would be a fantastic series. Like this would be a really great series. And if you really wanted to put some money behind it, give it to HBO. If you don't want to put too much money behind it, put it on Amazon. Like this would work really well.
And if you really, really don't want to put any money in it, give it to Netflix.
No, right. If you don't want anybody to watch a second season, give it to Netflix.
I when you say a show though, I would like it to be an animated show. I don't really want it to be a live action. Yeah. Okay.
Rick is an animated show for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that if you gave it to Amazon or Netflix, those backgrounds would be gone. Like you go from the movie to this, and you're just like, what happened? And you're like, the money.
I would love it if they made a show with the same animation, exact same animation as they had the film. That would be cool. Right. Okay, we're going to finish up. Akira is done. I'm glad that's off the list for all of us. Next week, it's myself, Devaughn, and Laurence. We're back for one of the most hyped movies of the year. Let's hope it delivers. The Odyssey.
God damn right, baby.
Good luck to you guys.
Yes. I'm so excited.
Isn't it about 8 hours long or something? So
it's like 3 hours long.
Three and some change.
Christopher Nolan, of course it is.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've already heard some mixed things about his choice of dialogue to start with. He's modernized dialogue in a film that's not set now. I've got my tickets booked at the IMAX. An IMAX showing at the BFI in London, so I'm looking forward to it. And right, okay. The following week we are doing The Princess Bride, and then to finish off July, we are doing Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Let's go. It's a good year for movies, man.
It's a good year, man. This is one of the best years since COVID, I reckon.
It's a good year for movies.
Right, okay. So you can follow us on social media. We're on most of them, and come say hello. Have a good time.
Yes.
And also you can listen to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, etc. Please listen, 5-star reviews, comment, rating, etc. Laurence, Devaughn, Jasmine, thank you very much for being part of the panel. It's been good to hang out with you all and discuss this classic. And we will head off and say goodbye. And Jasmine's going to say good journey. So
there it is.
Yeah, there it is. So, anyway, yes, good journey. Right, bye everyone.
Bye.